Hello everyone. I hope you are doing amazing today. Welcome to today's video. My wife threatened divorce because I mentioned my friend offered for me to stay at his parents' house before a race. Is this controlling behavior? My best friend and I are going to run a 10K together before a festival, and he offered for me to spend the night before the race at his parents' house, a little closer to the city the race is at. My wife and I are new to the city and we only have one car. So he was offering I could go with him for the race so my wife and kid could come up later when the rest of the festival starts if they didn't want to wake up early for the race. My wife flipped out when I told her he offered this and accused me of wanting to have an adult sleepover so I could have sex with him. And she's accused me of basically gaslighting her throughout our whole marriage and relationship. She's convinced whenever I've gone to hang out with him we're actually having sex. He's married with 3 kids, neither of us are gay or have ever had any weird moments or anything, like just totally straight dudes who are good friends. She says she wants a divorce. She became super mad as soon as I mentioned he offered. She has a history of being really jealous of exes and other girls in general, like just if she feels like I'm too friendly with our waitress or something. She says adult sleepovers are super weird and clearly we're doing something weird. If it was just that she wanted me to stay to help with the kid it would be fine, but her reaction was so hostile and contemptful and basically thinks that him offering that means I'm cheating on her. We have had a pretty rough relationship. This is just one of those things that comes up that's just like suddenly a big crisis seemingly out of nowhere. It seems to happen kind of often with her. It's so draining and makes my life super stressful. What else to say? Basically I said this is not weird behavior. Let's see what the users think. Someone commented, "I'm definitely no expert, so take this with a big pinch of salt, but don't people say that if someone is constantly accusing you of doing something with no evidence it's often because they're doing it themselves? It's that strange that she links staying at a friend's with cheating despite having no reason to think this way. Do you think she could be projecting? This is definitely not a normal reaction, and I think it's very strange that she's not seeing anything wrong with accusations of you being gay or that staying at a friend's house is cheating. Sounds like she has some personal things she needs to work on and get past, and she shouldn't be taking them out on you. I can't tell you what you should do, but I will say her reaction is very hard to explain without it being some kind of projection of hers or something she's done to be able to see staying at a friend's as cheating. Obviously I don't know you or her, so if I'm completely wrong I'm sorry and you can call me a moron, but I just can't think of any other way to explain her reaction." Someone else added, "People should not offer ultimatums unless they mean it. She is trying to control you. And if you are here in this forum you are getting tired of it. Just a question of how tired. Calling a person's bluff is a very important place to start. Let your friend know if you haven't how your wife is. Find a family or friend to watch your child and tell your wife see you in court. And you and your child leave. It's amazing what happens when bullies are caught. Expect waterworks and tantrums. See, you don't have to live that way, OP. And you sure don't want your child to live that way either." Someone said, "The weird behavior is from your wife. It is 100% not okay. Either she gets into counseling to address bizarre insecurity and controlling, or you bail. I can't imagine living like that. Not normal. Not healthy. She sounds toxic. P. Privately confer with a seasoned family law attorney to discuss your entitlements and alternatives regarding parental rights and responsibilities as well as support and property division issues. This will at least allow you to learn what you may reasonably anticipate in the event of a divorce. Then you need to decide whether to promote that she gets therapy or not. Given her history, any therapy she seeks must be extensive. Let's stay tuned to see what happens on the next updates." Story 2. My husband's best friend's wife is visibly flirting with my husband. How do I handle it? Throwaway account for obvious reasons. We're all friends now, but he's been my husband's best friend for like 15 years. I just became the wife's acquaintance a few years ago. As couples, we only hang out at their place and or do whatever they want to do and what's convenient for them. She makes plans with me and cancels the day before. But whenever all of us plan to hang at her place, she never cancels. For example, she's been working hard to get back to her pre-pregnancy body. So if me and my husband say something like, "Wow, you look so good, did you lose weight?" she would respond to him looking directly at him and say, "Really, husband's name? You think so seriously?" Another example, all throughout her pregnancy I was asking her how she was and she was venting to me about a lot of details. So recently I had surgery and she pretended like it didn't happen, didn't even talk to me directly about it, but asked my husband, "Oh, how's my name doing? Is she recovering well?" When we're at their house, she always needs to change into her PJs, which are super skimpy and tight, and this is unlike her because she's a super modest dresser. Her husband also doesn't pay attention to her and is addicted to his phone and sports, and has told my husband in the past that they lack intimacy. So I'm not sure if that's why she's trying to be extra friendly with mine. Fast forward to this past weekend, she straight up turned her back to me when we were all talking at a wedding, and didn't return my hug when I said bye to her. She just stood there looking in the other direction, pretending to be in a convo. But then hugged my husband tightly when he went in for a hug. Am I overreacting? I feel like she's blatantly doing this in front of me and doesn't care, but she's intentionally flirting and she knows it. How do I handle it? Someone commented, "You aren't overreacting. One of two things is happening here. Either she does have a crush on your husband or she's trying to make her own husband jealous to get more attention. My money is on her having a crush on your husband. You and your husband need to discuss how the two of you will respond to her when you're together. For example, when she refused to hug you as you were leaving the wedding, your husband could have said, 'Aren't you going to say goodbye to OP?' Also, he needs to stop paying her any compliments. If you pay her a compliment but she responds only to your husband, he needs to say, 'Why are you thanking me? OP gave you the compliment.' Call her out on her behavior when necessary. If she changes into pajamas while you're at their house, say, 'Oh, I guess you're tired. We'll call it an evening and see you another time.' Then leave even if they ask you to stay. Your husband also needs to talk to his best friend about his wife's behavior, and be very direct about what's going on and how it makes both of you uncomfortable. Things don't change, then you need to stop hanging out with them as couples. If your husband wants to hang out with his best friend without the wife, that's fine. Under no circumstances should your husband hang out with his friend and the friend's wife without you. If the wife insists on tagging along when the men hang out, your husband needs to make it clear that he's not comfortable with that and leave. This woman is not your friend. You don't need to spend time with her or try to make plans with just her that she's just going to cancel." Someone else added, "I actually don't think your husband should say anything to his friend. I think he should say something to her with both words and actions. He should stop all physical contact immediately. No initiating hugs with her unless she has just hugged you, and it would be awkward, and even then a short side hug. She needs to feel his rejection of her advances directly, not be told by her husband or you. He needs to give her the cold shoulder, not be rude, but definitely treat her as an acquaintance and treat you as his wife. He needs to lay it on thick with the praise and adoration. My husband does this all the time and still gets hit on by women right in front of me. But the good women friends will say to me privately, 'Husband's name is so crazy about you. He thinks you hung the moon. He adores you, etc.' He needs to nip it in the bud." Another user added, "Why are you still acting nicely to her? She is being rude and inappropriate. Don't ask her questions about herself. Don't hug her. Don't invite her over. And your husband has to be on the same page since she is disrespecting you. He should not be initiating or even accepting physical contact with her. Your husband should be showing you affection in front of her. Don't play games. Don't stoop to her level of playing catty. He needs to show clearly where each of you stand in his life. You should not be fighting with her over your husband." What about you? What do you think would be the best advice you could give in such a situation? Let us know down in the comments. That would be all for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please share, like, and subscribe for more stories like this. I hope you have a wonderful day and always remember to be kind.